everyone, this is Mindy Egan for Tailored Expressions, and I'm excited to share some card projects with you featuring the spooky season postmarked. And at the end of the video, I have a couple other color palettes that I want to share with you as well. Let's take a look at the supplies I'm using today. Spooky Season Postmark Embossing Folder and Spooky Season Postmark Stencil. I also have the Postmark Cutting Plate, Mini Envelope, Ghost Hugs Die Set, Airmail, Spooky Sayings, Simple Strips Halloween, and Simple Strips Straight Edge, A2 postage stamp stacklets, and additional A2 layer stacklets. Cardstock, I have the sugar cube in 6x6 and then also trimmed down 8.5 by 11. Black licorice, Cookie Monster, and candy corn, and the pewter glitter cardstock. For ink, I have cake pop, confetti cake, candy corn, Earl Grey, oyster, sugar cube, cupcake, and versified Claire Nocturne ink. Other supplies I'm using is my glass board and my glass board buddy, reverse tweezers, small scissors and large scissors, a pick tool, repositionable tape, scotch tape, liquid glue, thin foam squares, thin foam tape, my Misty stamping tool, white embossing powder, teal tape and post-it tape, an anti-static powder tool. I will also be using a heat gun and blending brushes. I have two cards that I'm going to be creating for you on screen. The first one, I am starting with a 6x6 piece of sugar cube cardstock. This is out of the pre-cut packs. I placed repositionable tape on the back to secure it to my work surface. And then I'm placing layer 1 of the stencil down over the top, securing that down with post-it tape. Later on, I will be switching to teal tape for more security. The first color I'm going to use is Cake Pop with my blending brush that I have designated for Cake Pop. I'm filling in all the open areas of this first layer of the stencil. I'm not going to be doing any shading, just using the straight color across the entire front. When blending, I made sure to also get the registration squares that are on each side of your stencil. This is going to help with alignment for the next stencils. So I lined up the second layer of the stencil using those alignment squares, and I am ink blending with confetti cake. I can then remove that layer of the stencil, place down the third layer. This time I am going to come in with candy corn, filling in all those open areas of the stencil. I did experiment with using a smaller blending brush to get into some of the smaller areas, but it just seemed to take a little bit longer. So I just made sure to really go over each of those areas, kind of going left to right and right to left to make sure to get it good coverage. I'll then move on to the last layer of the stencil. This is the fourth layer, and for this one, I am going to be using Earl Grey. You could use black here if you wanted even more contrast, but I kind of wanted it dialed back just a little bit and let cardstock be where my contrast comes into play. So again, just covering the entire area of the stencil with the Earl Grey. I'm going to use black licorice cardstock as my main card front piece. I wanted an additional color in here, so I am die cutting out candy corn with the postage stamp stacklets die. That's going to go over the top, and then I'm going to trim down my panel with a die from the additional A2 layers stacklet. This is going to allow me to pick and choose the area of the stenciled background that I want to use, and also it's going to fit perfectly inside of that stitched frame on the postage piece that I die cut out. Then it's time to decorate, and instead of just having a sentiment on the front, which you will see in the second card, I decided to bring out the Ghost Hugs die set. This creates a nice sized ghost that's going to fit on the front of the card. I die cut pieces from sugar cube, black licorice, and then the band on the witch's hat is going to be from the pewter glitter cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and attach that band to my hat using liquid glue so I don't lose it when I'm shuffling things around. Also included in the Ghost Hugs set is a small clear set so you can stamp a face on your ghost. I am placing this inside of my Misty. It's a clear stamp, so I don't need to remove the foam insert. I do have my hat just placed over the top of the ghost for right now to use as a guide, but I did put repositionable tape on the back of my ghost so it doesn't move around inside of my Misty. I'm stamping the face. There are a couple varieties of faces. Stamping that with VersaFine Claire, and then the cute little cheeks with Cupcake. I'm adding thin foam squares down towards the bottom on the back side of the witch's hat. So this is the part that's actually going to touch the ghost. Just going to pop it up a little bit. I'll die cut out the mini envelope out of a Cookie Monster cardstock. This ties well with the colors that I used in the background. I'll go through and fold along all of those lines that the die scored for me and then reinforce those folds with a bone folder. I will then actually seal this shut using some liquid glue. You could also leave the top flap open and maybe have some bats. If you have a bat die, you could have some bats kind of flying out of it. I'll work on my sentiment, which I'm using the Spooky Sayings set. This is a red rubber stamp. I picked out one that's going to fit nicely on the front of my project. I'm going to stamp this on sugar cube cardstock. This is just a scratch piece that I have in my packet. I removed the insert from my Misty to stamp that down using a VersaFine ink. This has a coordinating die with it, so I'm going to line that up, hold it down with a low tack tape, and run that through my die cut machine. I also like having smaller sentiments underneath, so a sub-sentiment, and I did some digging and found my Simple Strips Halloween. This is going to stamp out a ton of different Halloween sayings all at once, so I'm lining this up on black licorice cardstock. I will then prep the cardstock with an anti-static powder tool. I love the look of the black cardstock with white heat embossing. So I'm going to ink up these sentiments with sugar cube ink, which is a white pigment ink. I found this is a really great ink to use to get the best results with heat embossing with white. You absolutely can use clear, that works as well. I just find I get better results with white pigment ink. It kind of hides any imperfections. I'm going to sprinkle on some white embossing powder. Make sure you're getting all of those registration squares. And then once we have that done, we can melt that with our heat tool. I'm lining up the coordinating die, matching up those registration squares. I like to kind of over adhese when it comes to holding that die in place because there's a lot there and I don't want it to shift when I'm running it through my die cut machine. Now I have a bunch of sentiments ready to go for any future Halloween cards. I wanted to add some more postmarked details to this, and I will bring my Misty up on screen a little further in just a minute. So I brought in the Airmail stamp set, and I am going to be stamping this in oyster ink. So it's just a little bit more muted down than the Earl Grey. I'm kind of taking some random images from that set and stamping that kind of sporadically onto the card front to give it that more postage feel. I'm stamping these images the same way I would do embellishments, where the cancellation mark I kind of placed in a triangle, so it looks sporadic, but yet still a little planned out. For assembly, I am adding thin foam tape to the back of my ink blended panel. I'm going to use my die pick to remove the backing of that foam tape and place that onto my candy corn postage die cut. Then I can add this with tape runner to my black licorice. The black licorice cardstock is cut to 4¼ by 5½. I will add in my ghost, also using some thin foam squares. I love using the thin foam tape or foam squares because it's going to add a little bit of dimension without making it too bulky. Placing the sentiments down where I want them to be, I'm going to go ahead and attach my happy haunting to the envelope. So that is kind of one piece. And then I'm going to add some thin foam squares behind the sentiment, liquid glue to the envelope and attach that down so it's nice and flush with each other. And then as another option for adding dimension, you can stack your cardstock. So here for that simple strip sentiment, I just stacked some multiple layers of cardstock that's trimmed down to the same size. So there we have this really fun postage-themed Halloween background and then our ghost that is sending us some happy mail. Now, I have another card that I want to make for you. It is the same ink blended panel, so I did have another one ready off screen. This time I'm using the Postmark cutting plate so that I can die cut out a bunch of those postage-themed images. I want to use a similar format as I did for my first card. So here again, I have Cookie Monster cardstock. I'm trimming out with that same size of the additional A2 layers stacklet that I did for the first card. I'm taking that and I'm placing it inside of the 3D embossing folder. If you need to bring in your cutting plate to see exactly where everything is going to line up, you can use that as a guide. But once I have it in place, I'll run it through my die cut machine to emboss the design. Now, what I wanted here was more of a guide. I wanted to be able to fill the entire card panel with all of these pieces, but I wanted the background to be a different color. So I'm really using those embossed areas as a guide. So this is something you could do on your own if you wanted to eyeball it, but I really wanted the perfect placement for everything. So I laid everything out. I have a couple tips here for you. So I laid everything out, and at first I started going through one by one, adding a thin foam square behind it. Yes, a little tedious, but so worth it. And I found that as I was trying to do this one by one, my other pieces were moving. It was kind of getting me messed up visually, trying to make sure everything was straight. So afterwards, what I'll do is I end up kind of moving everything off of the front of the card, trying to keep it in the order that it was. What I would suggest is best is maybe have another embossed panel to use as a guide and just go from one panel to another. You really want to keep it in order. The other thing that I didn't think about ahead of time as I went through and I placed thin foam squares over all of the embossed areas. Now, what that did was it kind of obscured the image behind it. I was able to still kind of figure out what each one was, but I would say maybe go one by one instead of placing all of your foam squares down at once. But regardless of which way you do it, I think this is a really fun design, another way to use your embossing folder that you may not have expected. It's also allowing me to have a color behind all of my postage and make sure that everything is in the same order as it was. I trimmed off any excess using my large scissors, and originally I was thinking of using the candy corn postage stacklets and decided to go with white. The candy corn I thought was just, regardless of what color I used, seemed to be overpowering because then your eye kind of looks more for the candy corn. So I decided to go with white, die cut that out of the size of the postage stamp stacklets like I did in the first card. Again, lined the back of it with the thin foam tape, placing that on the front of black licorice cardstock that is cut to 4¼ by 5½. I'm adding liquid glue to the back of my embossed panel. So remember, the Cookie Monster was the one that I used with the embossing folder. And for the sentiment, I wanted that to pop out a little bit more. So I die cut out the sentiment again from pewter glitter cardstock. I layered the back of my sentiment with thin foam squares and offset it so the glitter cardstock is sticking out a little bit, and then added it to the front of my project using liquid glue. I'm going to also use one of those smaller sentiments from the simple strips that I created earlier, but this is actually trimmed down. This sentiment, I think, was supposed to say trick or treat, smell my feet. And I trimmed it down so it just said smell my feet because I already had trick or treat that's kind of more of the focal point up there. So after I added that underneath with some liquid glue, that finishes off this card project. I love that I was able to still keep that same layout because it is fits together so well and it looks so good. And then here is our first card that I created using the ghost. Now, as promised, here is another inspiration piece that I created. This one I'm actually going to turn into a card here in just a second using cupcake, rose water, candy corn, and Earl Grey. And then here is another one I did, just changing out one of the colors for green. So I hope this gives you some ideas and inspiration, whether you want to go spooky or whether you would go more on the pink side for Halloween colors. Both of them are super fun. This is the card I created using that same layout, just more in the pinks. Thank you all so much for spending time with me today. You could find these products now available over at tailoredexpressions.com.